Throughout the 60s and 70s, many railroads traded in their AMD-F units from the 40s and 50s for newer engines. However, there were some exceptions, with the most notable being the Santa Fe. Instead of getting rid of them, the railroad decided to convert 233 engines into what would become the CF7s between 1970 to 1978. This was done by replacing the elegant streamlined body with a general-purpose one to make the engines capable for switching duties in the yards of the Santa Fe, as well as short-haul freights. However, they were occasionally put in multiple-unit consists and used on heavy freight trains across the ATSF, mainly potash trains between Clovis and Carlsbad in New Mexico, and grain hauls. In order to keep the conversions as cheap as feasibly possible, the primary mechanical and electrical components from the F7s were retained, as they were still considered reliable parts that could be used in the CF7s. In addition, later models were fitted with remote control equipment, or RCE, in order to be controlled from other units and cut down on labor costs. The Santa Fe would use them until the mid-1980s, when they would begin to sell a lot of them to short-line and regional railroads from 1984, with many of them being bought for less than $20,000, or $59,735.51 today. As a result of this, many would survive in revenue-waning service until 2020, when the last ones were retired, including the last one from the Louisiana and Delta Railroad. However, they would also be used by Amtrak and GE Transportation for a time, but they did not last long as they suffered from mixed results at best. By 1987, the ATSF had sold all of its CF7s, with them having had decades of reliable service as both the original F unit and rebuilt configuration, as well as proving that EMD knew what they were doing when it came to making reliable diesels, with many of them being in preservation across the US. These include number 2546 at the Kentucky Railway Museum and 2571 at the Oklahoma Railway Museum.